Abierto. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Radio Satellite or Satellite Radio. Satellite radio, for who doesn't know, is a curated space where cross-continental rhythms and undiscovered sounds converge. We spotlight artists shaping Lisbon's soundscape through borderless experience. And tonight we're gonna have a small interview with one of Prisma most recent residents, Cassie.
Hi. Nice to be here.
How you feeling, Casey?
Oh my gosh. We're at.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
You feel alright?
I'm feeling good. Feels good. Was that Tony? Yeah. I'm at day 6 in Lisbon. I've never been to
6
Europe.
days.
Which
How
is
it
crazy.
going?
Oh my gosh. Man, people. I don't even know how to explain how different it is from the United States.
People are not shooting each other. That's one of it.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk, literally. We just talked about it. I don't know what happened in Utah, but here it's really interesting to see how many just cities are so different, especially like Lisbon. I mean, people will come up to you, that's your new best friend. Now we're kissing, man. Like
Well, that's not how it goes, but maybe just with you. People get excited. I don't know. I don't kiss people that much. But okay. Casey. Yeah, okay, I'm lying. Okay, yeah. Sometimes. Many times. Frequently. But either way, let's keep serious, please. Casey, you sent me a small bio about yourself,
Yes.
which I'm going to try my best to read it as good as possible.
Go ahead.
In Casey words, if I could describe my work in 3 words, it would be vivid, intense, and lomographic. That's a pretty expensive word. What does it mean, lomographic?
Yes. Basically, there's this word called lomography, which means the camera does the talking for you. And what that means is it kind of influences you to work with limitation, like toy cameras, broken cameras, old cameras, and you kind of make something out of limitation. And I heard once, I don't know who said it, but it's a super loose quote. It is artists, oh my gosh, artists will be pushed with limitation, like using like broken things, having not a lot to work with. And I think that's what lomography is about.
Yeah, quite
Yeah.
interesting. Thank you for the explanation. Going back to your bio, I try to let loose when I shoot film, experiment as best as I can, and put my whole heart into my work.
Yes.
I also represent the emptiness, the vast canvas in the Midwest that the Midwest gives me. Coming from a family of creatives, I have always loved art. How did your family influence on your pursuit of art?
It was interesting. It's kind of like a mixed bag. My mom's side was more music related. My mom did opera, so she got me into like choir and performing.
Are you a good singer?
Maybe.
Can you show us something?
Well, if you saw me,
do it, Casey.
if you saw me on Jam Night last night, you could have heard it. Next week, though, you see me at Jam Night in Prisma.
But yeah, although we are interviewing you as a photographer, you do have a background in music too.
Yes, absolutely.
You play bass?
Bass a bit, yeah. I've been playing only since the beginning of this year. So, wow, yeah, about like 7-ish, 8 months. And I like it a lot. I always wanted to play because I was only like raised with like singing. I never really picked up any instruments that
Yeah,
much.
but the voice is a kind of an instrument, no?
Oh yeah, very unique instrument. The only one you can't see.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can
It's a
hear.
riddle. Yes, you can hear.
Quite
You can
well.
hear it. And my dad's side, they're very like, they're more like type A, weird. So like left brain jobs kind of, so very more like analytical. But my dad, he was kind of like the odd one out in the family, and he went in the journalism direction. So he always was doing like documentary work, PBS, Americans, it's like public broadcasting, and like they do like a lot of fundraisers. So he would be like producing and directing them, like all on TV. And now he teaches TV to people. So that kind of got like my visual side and my music side, both from each of my parents, which I'm very grateful for. So
Yeah, amazing.
yes.
Um, going on to your video, I bought my first film camera at Thrifty Shop for a lowly $6 at a Minolta Freedom Zoom. But yeah, it's interesting because you say your art is influenced by your parents, but photography is not something they explore.
Right.
It came to you. How did it happen? Why didn't you follow your parents' steps, and you decided in sort of a different way?
Yeah, that's a great question. I never really thought I liked drawing actually a lot when I was a kid, but then something I think about. I don't know. I was a very sensitive, and I still am, like, kid. So I held on to a lot of memories, and photography kind of just started as something, even in high school, like when I was like 16, I did like yearbook and stuff. So I was always the one capturing the memories, and that always kind of stuck with me, just kind of having those moments in time that are frozen and that I can always look back on. And I think that's really just like that emotional tie. Having that was huge for me. So I think that's kind of really what my interest just completely fell in love with there.
Yeah, and would you say like you're starting to having a low budget investment on the camera, but would you say that like until today you still have that experimental part on your work?
Absolutely. I love kind of with film, it's very high risk, high reward. Even if you're spending $6 USD, 6 USD on a camera, you don't know if it'll work. You don't know if the battery is corroded, messed up. You don't even know. Sometimes film can just come back bad. Even if you have an expensive camera, maybe your film is the problem. There's a lot of like little bits and pieces that go into film photography, but it's always a risk that I'm willing to take. So.
Yes, sir. Do it, Casey.
I will
do it. But yeah, keep going in the bio. I originally bought it to parties, and after 3 years, the carefree style evolved into something that is still fun, yet more defined. And what is it? What is it?
My style, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the carefree thing. Once again, just started taking photos of friends, parties, and I always loved seeing that movement because I think it's crazy how many people will freeze up when they see a camera. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, or they'll even get,
shit.
yeah, oh, I know why.
My makeup is good.
My mouth was open. Yeah, whatever. And I understand. Like, I've been there, but it's kind of something that is so genuine, though, when you get those random flashes, and that was the moment. That's real, and I love that real carefree style, and I've tried to just cultivate something like that, just being more, I want any person I'm taking a photo of to take up their space and to have fun. Like, I just want to be a vessel for them. I want them to show me who they are, and I want them to feel like they can take up that space in front of the camera.
How do you do that work, like to bring the best of the people? Because photography, I would say, like is difficult because it's a small frame from an entire life.
Yeah.
And how do you try to capture that? That singularity.
I think when you do a shoot, you have to really warm up a model, if you know what I mean. So I mean,
some slaps.
Maybe after the photos. Yeah, you were so bad. I wasted my money, but I think talking is the easiest way to get a model warmed up. Try to, even if like I'm working with someone more quiet, someone who's never really like taken photos. Like I'm thinking of my friend Joey. He's like, oh, I'm not no model, but he's like a great guy. But we know each other really well, so you kind of have to break that space down. And I love the way that you put that, like a moment from life, this vast life, and I have to capture that, and it's a big task, definitely, but I think, with talking, you kind of break the mold there, and that's just like, even if a shoot just goes for 1 hour, I'm just glad that I have 1 hour of someone's life with me, and I shared 1 hour of my life with theirs, and that space, I guess.
And talking about photographies, what does capture you the most on a photo?
Like what? Like my eye, like what catches my
Yeah,
eye.
like
Yeah.
the composition, the
Mm.
colors. I mean the angles. What do you value the most on a picture?
It's changed a lot. Because at first I would be like, oh, the feeling of it, but that's a hard thing to describe. I would say right now, in like my current practice, lighting. Lighting is, I think, the most important thing any photographer can work with, especially when you start to really get into photography. Then you're working with like strobes, you're working with reflection and shadow. It's huge, and it depends. Oh, is this gonna be black and white? It's a lot easier to work with black and white with lighting, by the way. It's very forgiving. But if you have color, what is that going to look like? Because film, we're not talking with pixels anymore. We're talking with grain. We're talking with actual chemical material here. So you have to understand, like, oh, how is this color going to fade out in the shadow? Will it look muddy? Will it look strong? Will there be no grain? So lighting is definitely the most important thing, I think.
So would you say you prefer to take pictures in a controlled environment since you value the light, or?
That's a great question. I like.
Tried to make great questions.
Oh, you were doing good. You were like playing what's it called, like tennis, like but yeah, I really like studio photo because you can control that world. But I love shooting just at a set, at a location, because I started bringing. Shout out to my friend Patrick, by the way, who put me on.
Shout out to Patrick.
Come on, Patrick. Patrick, we love you from Hudson, Ohio. If you're listening, Patrick, big inspiration to me. He put me on to this one off-camera flash that I've been using in my practice recently, and it's like, it kind of just makes any set, like any scene, any location that you're at, into, I don't know, just like very high fashion and dramatic. And I like using that one a lot because I love doing daytime, like nice blue sky, bright sun with a flash as well. I like very just bright, dramatic, just eye-catching stuff like that. So a bit of both, I guess, is final answer.
Yes, interesting. Now, talking about your experience here in the residencies, I would like to ask you, how did you find Prisma? Yeah.
Wow, that's a great question. Once again, you're killing it over here, of course. It's like you have experience or something.
No, nothing like that. No.
First day, yeah. But wow, oh my gosh, because I got the interview. Yeah, I got the interview in April. I was just at a really, I wouldn't say a bad point, but really dry period with my art in like February.
Lack of inspiration.
Yes, no inspiration at all. And I was even doing like 35 millimeter film developing classes in school, which was amazing. I'm glad I learned that tool. But our critiques, and this isn't even to like hate on my professor, our critiques gave like no real critical feedback. Like it was basically like everyone got a gold star. Even if it was like my most lazy work, I would turn it in and I was like, well, I know I'm going to do fine. I'm not going to hear what I need to hear. And that destroyed me. I was like, I want to hear a balance of both. I want to hear what I'm doing good, but I do want to hear that critique. I want to know if my work could use another push in a blind spot that I'm missing. So, I mean, I barely even came to my photography classes. I was like crying before school. It was crazy. I've never done that before. I've always liked school.
Never cried alone in the darkness.
I know, I was emo.
It's so depressing music.
It was. No,
what am I doing with my life?
A little violin, like mini violin, yes. But that's what it was. It's like silly to say that now because I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I was crying.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, no, literally. But when you're going through it, you're like, oh fuck, this is the worst. And it was. And then I was doing a lot of art classes, and I would just hear my colleagues talk about residencies. I was like, what is that? And I had no idea what it was. And I applied to a couple, and I just found, I don't know how I found Prisma. I think it was just like searching like Europe art residencies.
From above.
Literally. The universe did its magic here. And then I just remember I had the interview with Charlie. And I don't know, when you ever have like those moments where like everything kind of just feels like you're just moving through it and there's no pain, there's no resistance at all. It's just
meant to be.
Yes, and that's how it was with Prisma. And like even when Charlie like gave me the interview and they were like, "Oh, we'll talk soon." I was like, I don't know why, but I just know this is right and I'm going to be there. And that was it. And I am so even though it's literally not even been a week. Tomorrow it'll be a week. Oh my gosh, I'm just so happy I did it. Like, I'm
But yeah,
so
you shared before the interview that you never left the United States. You
Yeah.
travel around the United States, but you never have the experience to go outside at least the American, North American region. But I would say that's a huge step, no, in anyone's lives to go outside their own safety net, per se.
Yeah.
How do you see their attitude? Why did you choose to do that? Who gave you the strength to
Ooh.
do so?
Okay, definitely. It was a lot of, honestly, like, even if you want to go like the spiritual route, like, kind of like when you are like in the process of like kind of entering that void within yourself, like looking at your character defects and the parts of yourself that not that you're ashamed of, but that you think that need more love. I feel like I've always been very shy to take risks. I was always like that kid. Like, if they were like climbing up trees, I'd be like, no, no, no. And I was a chicken, and I was like very shy and very bad at doing that as a kid, and that kind of always like stuck with me in my life. And I was like, you know what, I need to really confront that part of myself, because I know that there's a part of me that wants to go further, and I have to just trudge on through. I mean, I remember when I started traveling in the United States, like the first like big place I really went was LA. And I just remember like when I went alone, I didn't know anything. I didn't know about the metro. I didn't know about anything, but I figured it out, you know? And I was just alone in that city, and I had like this spark. I was just like, dude, this is like the best feeling of all time. And then even before, oh my gosh, coming here, I was like freaking out. I'm like, I'm not, oh my God, the metro. Oh, no, what is going to happen? But you just go through it, you know? And especially when you travel alone, even as a young woman too, it's very intimidating, insane. All you hear, especially in American news, horror stories, people dying, people going missing, and you just have to really know thyself. You know, when you take on that, I guess that challenge that you face. And as for people, I think number one, my father, because he was always like the same as a kid. Like, he doesn't really travel a lot, but he got out of his hometown. And he was like, I just need you to do this. I need you to go. And I'm like, yeah, totally. Even if you didn't say to, I would have done it anyways. But I'm glad he gave me the green light, Pops, even though he didn't have to. And I think just the people I surround myself with at home, definitely I have a really, like, good group. Like, I know a lot of artists, you know, we get, like, the imposter syndrome or whatever. But I always had that really bad. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'll put out like photos and I'm like, oh, whatever. And
especially when you're not follow like a trajectory per se, because
yes,
you were saying like your art is quite experimental, so the imposter syndrome kicks even louder. No?
Oh, it's loud. Yeah, it's screaming at you even, and that's your job though. You have to really like hear the yells, and you have to like not yell back at it, but you have to be like, okay, I got to find out where that's coming from in myself. And I'm lucky enough to have like people who really do love me and wanted me to come here too. And they were like, because of course I was not going to be like, oh, I got this opportunity, I'm going to say no. Like, when I told everyone, I was like, oh yeah, guys, I'm like going to leave for a bit. Everyone was like, I had like friends who were like crying when they heard it. I was like, what the heck? Like, what? But it's like really a humbling experience. Because, you know, you go from those, like, bad moments, literally being like, oh, what do I do? Crying before class. And then you're, like, surrounded by people who love you. And it's like, oh, my gosh. It's just the most beautiful thing ever, working through that. So, yeah.
And life is beautiful, and I hope your
Yes.
journey keeps on a beautiful way.
Thank you.
But yeah, so this is like the start of your residency per se. You've been here for like 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much did you explore the city, the Lisbon city?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to. I don't know if you're gonna do this month or next month, since your residency is 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a showcase in the end of each month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing you. After 2 months, you gonna present something.
Yeah, I was like thinking of this month, but I still have to put a pin in it because I'm like
absorbing first.
yeah, definitely takes a while in the city, and also not being in Europe ever, you learn a lot fast.
Yeah, but I would like to ask you how does the place and the people will influence your work?
Already they have. I mean, like, I I definitely consider myself like, and I always forget that I have like energy. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do like this, and this, and this all the time and not get worn out. Like with art, like I could really go hard and keep going. And sometimes you kind of meet like a wall where I'm from. Like I don't want to like diss where I'm from at all, but a lot of people do kind of get stuck in my area. Like they go to college and they never leave, and then they stop doing art, and they're like 27, and then they're like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Yeah, and they literally keep crying, man, keep crying, and it's like you're talking to a wall, you know. And then I would talk about like all the stuff I was doing, and it kind of felt like, I don't know, I felt like a fool talking about my art sometimes. I felt like I felt like
An alien, an outsider.
Yes, exactly. I felt stupid sometimes until I met like the right people though, like in my area. Then I found supportive people, thank God. But that was kind of the majority of like growing up there. But then, I mean, I went to other areas like, well, you go to the big cities like New York, Chicago, LA. You talk about art and people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm doing this, this, and this. Like, oh, I've got a gig tonight. I'm going on tour. And it's like normal. And I'm like, oh, so this is like the life I'm supposed to live, you know, like very normal things. If you can just talk about like a project and it's not competition, you know what I mean? And I see that in here in Lisbon. People are so open to talk about their projects, what they're doing, if they have a gig in the next few days, if they have an exhibit or a live poetry reading. And I think it's really cool that artists, especially here, can be not only so open, but no one's in competition at all. Everyone here's insanely supportive from what I've seen. And yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because I truly believe like I wouldn't say nobody that does art it comes from a place where you can compare to another person because art is just a showing of yourself. So to think like you're competing with someone else is in some sort of a way it's comparing yourself to another person. But you're a unique person and your art is unique. So that all battle with other people is so insane and so.
Yeah, in America, I think. Maybe it's an American thing.
Maybe.
We're always trying to one-up everybody, and I really hated that, honestly. Like, probably, like, the last year, I've just really seen a lot of people do that. And I was like, man, that just doesn't, like, register, you know? But then I come here, and I'm like, oh, everyone uplifts instead and shows and tells, and yeah.
Right. Miss Photographer.
Yes.
How do you like to be seen?
Wow. That answer can change depending on the day. My sweet mate Billy, we love Billy here. He's
shout out to Billy.
Shout out Billy. We love him. He was describing our washing machine as temperamental. And
How so?
It is because sometimes it locks up and it's like silly. But once again, art.
What you doing?
Yeah, what you doing? And he said this is temperamental, and I was like, man, I feel temperamental most days. You know what I mean? And he said that. He's really good with like lingo and words. He's fantastic. But that word stuck with me. I was like, depending on the day, yeah, I feel like I'm seen in a different way every day. My one coworker told me, he said, I'm the most unpredictable person he's ever met. And he was like, it's like playing like slots casino with you, Cassie. And I was like, man, I don't think, but I'm not offended by that. You know, I'm just like, well, that's kind of what you get, you know, when you have a lot of emotions and I feel like I wouldn't call myself like a genius per se, but I have a lot of thoughts, and it's very like a lot of racing thoughts and a lot of ideas. And when you like juggle that, man, every day is different. So, but I do like, if I would like choose how everyone could see me as just a place to like feel comfort, you know what I mean? If I can just provide like even a second of comfort for someone, that's awesome.
Yeah, you like to be seen as a comfort.
Yeah.
Nice.
I try.
Yeah, like you came from a long trip,
Yeah.
a long distance trip. What does your baggage carries?
Like mental or mental or
Just
physical?
interpret it the way you want.
Okay, because I will talk about the physical baggage because that was a bitch to figure out. So I originally flew into Vienna, Austria, because my like dream job, like their headquarters are there, and I was like, well, I like Austria. I think it'd be cool. Check it out. Get a tour of the headquarters. And on this flight, I bring my electric bass, right? It gets lost. Classic, right? Of course. And I never bring checked luggage. I always bring like literally just 2 things when I travel. I try to travel minimally, but I'm like, well, there's jam nights. I want to bring my bass, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, got lost. And I was like, God, if you hear me, if I'm meant to do music, send it back to me. And then like 30 minutes later, they called me. That was fine. Yes, thank you, God. I love you. See, I knew something was like gonna work out. But yeah, I went to Italy for one day. Dude, oh my God. Lugging a bass around Venice, that's no joke. That's no joke because there's no taxis. You know, it's just all by boat. So you're just, I'm walking around. Like, it was kind of like a Jesus thing. You know, he's like carrying the cross. Like, that's how I felt. I was like, dude, oh my God. Like, holy crap, I'm dying. But yeah, that's like pretty much all I brought. Like, that was like the biggest thing I brought. And then just like clothes, cameras. Only 3 cameras though, because I have like 10 at home. Too much. But then you have to give yourself a little limitation. Like, I have 2 for fun, like 1 street one party one, and then 1 professional one. Kind of that's how I gauge it.
You're trying to mix the. I mean, you obviously you brought different perspectives to different environments, but during the residence or during your showcase, would you try to mix it all together, or there's a camera meant for each thing?
I was kind of thinking originally just do the professional one, but you're so like, that's right, the mix, it's just that's more true to me. You know what I mean? Like, you having that unpredictability, and even just like thinking about like an exhibit, like this is like American households. Like, people will plaster like photos of their family on the walls. Like, have you ever seen that? Just like whoosh, like every wall is like covered with portraits, and I'm like, man, maybe I could do something like that. And it's all different memories, and yeah. Oh, now you got me thinking.
What are you thinking, guys?
Thinking about the exhibit, and like if I like had an installation.
Because you know, time flies by. You have to start thinking of it.
I know, right? Yeah, seriously. And that's the fun part, especially like, I mean, at least we had this at like my grandma's house. She just had like a bunch of like random photos in like mismatched frames too. Like, nothing had organization, but that's what made it so cohesive, because it was so true to her. She just found like, you know, random frames, or like, I know people who would just like get random frames from Goodwill, you know, the thrift stores off the street. But still, as long as you can fit your art into there, I think I love frames with character too. So now it's got me thinking. I'm just like a mismatched like house. That's like kind of how I'm thinking. Oh, I gotta stop. I'm like, I gotta write this down, you know. But yeah, that was pretty much all I really brought. With mental baggage though, man, I had to let a lot go coming here. Like, I mean, even before I got here, if I'm like getting so like personal and real, like, you want to hear something like super like not even like TMI, but like, this is like just what happened. Like,
Spill the tea, baby.
Oh, it's coming. Here's my sangria, by the way, mixed with Coke Zero.
Let's go, baby.
Shout out. I don't know, man. What are
Shout
you?
out, Sebastian.
Shout out to the bar. What are you guys sipping at Prisma Studio, man? Because it's something different. But before I got here, it was crazy. Literally a month before I flew out, my mom got diagnosed with cancer. Insane. And I was just like floored. I was like, holy shit. And I'm like an only child, only daughter. So it's like, my parents are older. So I'm like, dude. Then my fucking grandparents went to the hospital same day. So all this shit's like kind of falling down. And then I'm also just like having that baggage of like the past, you know, those past patterns are coming up. And I'm like, okay, I can't deal with these problems the way I used to, because that doesn't work anymore. And I don't want to hurt myself. And yeah, so I had to pretty much kind of just go in the fire with that. And but in any like sense of the way, it made my family closer than they ever have been. And like, it was kind of good though, so they didn't have to worry about me, because they were very, you know, as an only daughter, they were like, oh my God, don't go, like, oh, you know what I mean, like very like, oh. But then when all this was happening, the focus wasn't on me anymore, and they were like, yeah, this is probably like a good thing for you to take some space from this, and like, we'll hold it down here and stuff. And it was a really big hurdle to get over. And me and my mom have never really had like the perfect relationship, and just kind of like being there for her has been like a really good like new experience. Like, when you start to kind of teach your parent things, it's weird. It's like a really weird thing, but I love it. And even like with like food and stuff, like because she's like on chemo, she's just trying to like fix her diet and stuff, and I eat like a bunch of like organic crap, and I was like, okay, here's like the recipes of all the food, like let's make your food interesting and fun, and here's where you can get all this stuff for cheap. And it was just cool though to have that with her. And my dad was just really, shout out my dad again, always holding it down, you know, pops. And I'm just glad that everyone is okay right now. Everything's kind of like really settled down. My grandparents are cool. They're like living with my uncle right now. That's all good. And my mom is like really adjusted to her new lifestyle. So yeah, it's like there's always, when you keep going through it, you just have to keep going. You can't just be like pissed at the world anymore at that point. I'm just like, well, man, I have to deal with this in some way. So yeah.
May the way gives you strength.
It has.
And talking about connections and talking about photography, do you have any favorite photography until now?
So many. Oh my God. I am obsessed with this girl from.
We cannot show live, but if you could describe the best way you can.
I will try my hardest. Emma Drew Beerson from LA. She is like the biggest inspiration for me. She does like really, it's hard to explain her shoots because they're very digital, and I don't shoot digital ever.
Analogic.
Yes, all analog. And she is just fantastic though. She does like a lot of like sci-fi themes in her stuff, which I don't do at all. But I think because her style is so different than mine, I think that's where I find a lot of inspiration, because I love creatives that are completely different than me, because I'm like, oh wow, I don't know what this is, but I really am so inspired by that. And I also like, let's see, my one friend, Cinema Seb, we love you, Sebastian from New York.
Shout out Sebastian.
Sebastian, yes. He is awesome. He shoots on medium format, so I do 35, and he has like the wider, so his camera is bigger, older, and he only gets 12 photos. I get 36. And he is an amazing photographer. He does everything in the studio, and he does like double exposures too. He is just crazy with it. He is fantastic. I think definitely Sebastian's been one of my biggest inspirations like recently. I still have never met him. A lot of my like online friends are like all photographers, and we're all, we're scattered across like the United States, which is cool. And I actually, oh my gosh, one of my other friends, Manuel from Italy, from Bolzano, Italy. Shout out Bolzano.
Shout out Bolzano.
We love Bolzano. Very, very chill. He says it's chill. He says it's chill there. And Manuel's style is also, he has like carefree style. His colors are very warm too. Love warm, anything with that. And I got to meet him actually in Austria for the first time, and it was like a really cool thing. And yeah, Manuel is always just a good homie of mine. And I think, yeah, those three right now. And for video though, that's a whole.
Other than photography, you do. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We understood it a little bit on the
Yeah,
bio. But yeah, what would you say you prefer making photos or making videos? What satisfied you the most? Because one is a capture of an instance, and the other is a record. I mean, from several frames, and one is just one.
I love photos, but I don't get the opportunity to do video as much as photo. But I would honestly, I would say video, like right now.
Yeah, but it's much harder than at least the treatment or the because it's more dynamic than a picture. The picture is just a flash.
Absolutely.
And a camera, you need to like maybe have more of a thoughtful process, like thinking of it.
100%. And editing is a no joke sometimes. I love it, but when I edit, it's really hard for me to like take breaks. I just want to spend like
24 hours.
Yes.
Just one frame per day.
Yes, and I do. And then I'll be like, wait, no, I don't like that. And then change a million things. But that's the beauty of it. And like, especially here, because I'm working on a music video right now for my friends.
Shout out music videos.
In Chicago. It'll be out soon.
Talk a little bit about it.
Yes, I will, definitely. My friends in Chicago, that was like one of the last things I did before coming to Europe. I got to shoot a video all day with them, and they are just starting like their music, so they want to like release their single. Their name is baby.band on Instagram.
Shout out Baby Band.
We love Baby. We love Baby. Love Chicago too, and they're all such sweet people. And it was just the main singer, Henry. He had like just like a really interesting vision, because I really like to do like sharp editing. I'm like quick with my cuts. But then he was like, what if we just like put this really long static shot of me like moving my face all weird and singing into the mic, and I'm like in the lake. And I'm just like sitting in this lake, and I'm like, man, that's a great idea. So it's so great, once again, working with other artists who can just almost slow down your style. Because with video, I'm fast. I love doing fast stuff, and it's just really cool to like compromise with someone, but not in a, like a compromise, like, oh, I have to do this. More of in a like, wow, I'm really happy that you suggested that, because I never would have thought of like slowing it down in that part. And I'm really excited, and I've got to work on it a little bit here. It's, oh my God, like 80% done. It's so close, and I'm so excited. And it's good with Prisma though, and just Europe in general. You know, you get taught to slow down a lot here, which is nice. And I haven't had one of those 24-hour moments. Thank God. Hope.
Sessions.
Yes. Maybe next week it'll be different. But but yeah, I love music videos. Editing is so much fun. So
Definitely. Cassie, Miss Photographer, Videographer, Register. What is your definition of success?
that is, you know, the phrase "beauty is in the eye of the beholder." That's what that question is. It's, to me, success is, man, I don't ever really set goals for myself. Like, I'll set small goals, but they tend to not happen, and something bigger always gets handed to me. And I think that's success. When you set yourself up, because I think it's always good to have a plan in mind, but don't, you know, center your life around it, or else it'll kill you. Get a small goal and see what else could be given to you, though. And I think when you just reach something that's even bigger than your dreams, that's, to me, success. It's always the unexpected. I think when you just get those unexpected, huge, big things. Like, I remember my first, like, big moment of that was my first exhibit in New York, which was crazy. I just entered, like, this free, like, competition with this studio in New York. Shout out CRC.
Shout out.
Shout out. We have a lot of shout outs on this. We love everybody. You know what I mean? Like,
All love here, baby.
it is all love. Exactly. And that they just had a free giveaway, and it was with, once again, the company I want to work with. Also, they were hosting it. So I just entered my stuff, and like 4,000 people entered, and only 10 of us got in. And that was a crazy event. And I wasn't even like 21 at the time. I was just like, what? Like, this is possible? Like, this is possible. And it still, I mean, even talking about it, it just seems surreal. And just going to that event, I've never even been to New York City before. That was my first and last time there. And that just blew my mind. I was like, wow, this is, I would have never, ever expected to get in this at all. Because it was just one of those things where I was like, whatever, I'll just throw my cards in, see what I get. And I swear to God, with art, it always happens like that. You know what I mean? Like, you'll just, like, the one thing you don't try on at all, someone's like, that's your best thing ever. And you're like, what? And that photo actually was, like, that's so funny. Like, I used a film stock that I hated, too. And it was just, like, this photo of, like, these Dalmatians. Like, so random. Literally the most random photo I've ever taken. Just some puppies on a film stock I didn't even like. And I'm like, damn, that's the one they wanted. Okay, they must have saw something. And that was, like, the first moment where I was like, this is, like, my big success of my life. The first one. And that's the coolest thing. It's like there's only more to come. Just those expectations.
Success is unexpected. And I hope many unexpected things happen to you, and they are truly positive and fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Producer, how's it going with the time? Perfect. Yeah, we thank you most of all, Casey, for your time, and thank you for your words and your opening. And I really hope you have an amazing time during your residencies.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we're looking forward to see what comes up after this.
Thank you, Della.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Satellite Radio. And wait for the next emission, because I don't know what to say. This is the first time. Sorry, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.